Okay, let's get right into this. We're going to look at the trade of the day on the S&P 500 futures. Then we'll do the daily, and then we'll do the rest of the products. For those members that haven't been paying attention to the Premium Symbols channel, you're really missing out on some really good opportunities and some symbols that have been placed in there. I think I saw the Japanese yen in there today. You might want to take a look at that. As a matter of fact, we're going to cover the Japanese yen. We'll see if it's any good. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on here for the trade of the day. Turn on the Gibbs Plus indicator to help us out. What do we have going on? Well, we had something at 2 o'clock in the morning. Wow, look at that. S&P 500 was very bullish. Let me just show you something. Even if you didn't use the Gibbs Plus indicator way back here, you know, whatever time that was, like 2:15 in the morning, my time. All you gotta do is take a look at what's happening here. Of course, price is going this way, right? But you don't really know that until you're way up here. Then you look back and say, oh my gosh, it went from here to here, right? So let me help you out on how you can figure out when you know something's very bullish. You see how right here the momentum, the MACD went positive, started going this way. Look at this. It stayed up here all day, right? It didn't come back down until like, whatever that is, 1:30. Okay? So you know during this entire time as the momentum's sitting way up here, look at this momentum way up here. It's way up there. All through till like 1:30 in the afternoon. Okay, so your pre-market, your morning session, your late morning session, your noon session, all that is like super bullish. How do you know when to take the trades? You take the trade when it's like this. It comes down, it starts to turn up like that, take the trade. Comes down, starts to turn up, take the trade. Comes down, turns up, over and over and over again. None of these touched the bottom. Didn't touch the bottom, didn't touch the bottom. This one almost did, but didn't. Okay? That's where you take your trades. Okay? You don't even need the Gibbs Plus indicator to trade today. Today was just absolutely banging between the MACD and the SMI on the 5-minute chart. This was repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Make a lot of money. Okay, let's look at the 15-minute chart, see if there's anything on that one. Looks like momentum was, yeah, this one's really good here. It's 5:45 a.m. Look at that. It's very similar, right? The momentum starts to go positive here. It stays positive all day. Here in the 15-minute chart, it never goes negative. Never, not one time on the 15-minute chart did the S&P 500 go negative. Not once. You could trade this all day long. Of course, your position size would have to be small, but you could trade it all day long. You know, because you got to weather some big movements like that. Okay? But if this thing starts to fade right here and starts getting below the top line, you can just get out. I mean, you don't have to stay in if you don't want to. Wait for it to get done, wait for it to come back up again. It starts curling up right there, starts curling up. You can jump back in. You avoid the big red candlestick, right? That's another way you can do it. Over here, you write it all the way up here. As it starts to go below the top line right there, you just get out. And you wait, and it's going down, and price is tracking sideways and slowly, and then it gets a big red candlestick, right? And then it turns and goes up again. So that's another way to do it where you're not in it when you have the big red candlesticks that freak you out and you're like, oh my gosh, now I got to close my position, right? Because that's what a lot of people do. Huge monster day today. Easy money today in the S&P 500. Easy money. Amazing. Okay, let's look at the daily chart and then we'll do the rest of the products. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Consider how small this day was. 32 and a half. And yet there was all kinds of opportunities today. Just goes to show you that the range of the day doesn't always determine profit. You could have range that's like tight like this, right? You have a tight range. I know this is a lot of range on this chart, but let's just assume this is really tight. And it's just bouncing around inside there. You can make a lot of money in that small range because you're taking advantage of the bouncing. So 32 range doesn't really mean anything to good traders as long as it isn't doing this going sideways all day long, which it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, a bullish day. And let's see, December 10th is still the cycle low. Yeah, geez, I don't think we're going to see much of a cycle low there. 8 days away. Market continues to be very strong here. Okay, let's look at the rest of the products. We'll start with the Dow Jones Transportation, which we've been tracking the Dow Jones Transportation and the Russell 2000 together to see if they continue to follow each other, because they've been doing that. They've been doing that. Let's see what's going on here. Dow Jones Transportation pulling back here a little bit. Let's get the daily cycles up here. December 10th. Looks like this one is pulling back a little bit into that cycle low. So we can see more decline here. Let's look at the Russell 2000. What's it doing? Not quite the same thing. Tracking more sideways than the Dow Jones Transportation. But not super strong, just tracking sideways. I wouldn't touch it, obviously, right now. There's not enough meat on the bone there to do anything with that. Okay, the NASDAQ. Wow, the NASDAQ is just all over the place. Boy, oh boy, the NASDAQ, my goodness. Yeah, the NASDAQ. Obviously, overnight futures was, doing this kind of stuff. A lot of gap up. Over here, a lot of gap down. Okay, we had this thing going nowhere. And then now the last 2 days have been very strong. So that's bullish. Those are 2 really good bullish days there. So that's cool. And look, I think it looks like there's going to be a little bit more to go in this. Looks like NASDAQ's finally got a little bit of something underneath its feet, and it's going to go a little bit higher here. It's not as certain as the other indices, though. This thing is very hit and miss. I don't like it because it could pull back like without even you blinking. It's just not as reliable. It doesn't always follow patterns. NASDAQ is pretty tricky. I personally don't like trading it. All right, let's look at the Nike 225. Japanese market, what's going on here? Tracking sideways, trying to get going, but going nowhere. It's just going nowhere here. Not a good look. Negative territory here. I think the Nike 225 is in trouble. Negative territory, I think it's going to get worse. Japanese yen, let's see. Is there a trade there? Wow, look at this thing. Way up here on the SMI. Yeah, it's sitting way up here at 81, the SMI. Look at this, 81. Way up here. It's trying to go positive momentum because it's got more work to do to go positive momentum here. Kind of pausing here because it's run out of gas on the short-term momentum. Let's see, when is the cycle low for this thing? December 9th, so that's basically set a week from today. Yeah, it's got, we'll keep an eye on this. It has made some progress here, but not enough to get out of this negative momentum. We got to wait to see if it goes positive momentum before we can do anything with it. I don't like it as a trade, not with momentum still being negative. Okay, let's look at the euro. Ugly. Huge negative momentum. I don't think this is going anywhere. Get the daily cycles up here. I don't think it's going anywhere. Bing, bong. Well, I don't know. Hard to tell what this is going to do, but that is not very strong. Well, supposedly there was a cycle low, today basically. 2 cycle lows, excuse me, right next to each other. But there's a lot of work for this thing to get repaired. I bet we're going to see the same thing with the British pound. Boy, England's in a lot of trouble. Their prime minister or whoever got elected, oh my gosh, those people are horrible. They're exactly the opposite of the elections here in the United States. The American people spoke and said, enough of the socialist garbage. Get out of here. Americans took back the nation. Over there in the UK, they're in big trouble, folks. There's some really bad things going on over there. I think George and Alex Soros and their buddies got a hold of England, and they're trying to swing it Marxist. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And Stein, whatever his name is, he's probably taking George and Alex Soros money. It's the same pattern over and over and over. Wherever these guys are, wherever they're putting their money, they're demanding that those people follow Marxist ways. And America told them to go pound sand, but now England's got to deal with it. Unbelievable. And anyway, back to the British pound here. Doesn't look much better than the euro dollar. Super negative momentum. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere right now. Looks like it's got a lot of work to do before it get repaired. I actually like this short if it starts to roll over like this. All right. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, what is happening with gold? Gold had that, massive pullback when Trump got elected. Made a good, nice, strong run, and then got hit again. Bang. I think we're going to see a stair step down. I think that's what's happening here. This is going to continue to go negative. It's going to stay negative. Yep, gold is a very, very resilient product. But I just get this sense that gold is not going to rebound back up here to 2,800. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think overall gold is probably going to continue to decline. Okay, let's look at silver. It is bearish, silver. Just got this bearish, massive bearish here. Not a very good look here. It's trying to get going. It probably will get maybe up a little bit higher here, but boy, it's got a lot of work to do to go positive momentum. It's not something I would trade right now. Okay. All right, let's look at crude oil. Just hovering around 68 bucks. Yep. Got all the way up here to about 71, almost $72. Came down. Last 4 days have been slowly declining. Lots of wicks on both sides of the body of the candlestick. Boy, oh boy, I don't think this is going anywhere. It looks like it's got negative momentum too. I think just like gold, I think crude oil is going to continue to decline. We're going to watch crude oil probably slowly deteriorate. I do believe it's going to get down into the low 60s, mid 60s, low 60s, and even all the way down in the 50s as Trump and his people get into office and start producing a lot of oil here in the U.S. Okay. Let's take a look at wheat. Look at corn too. Okay. Wow. Looks like it's going to decline more to me. This just looks like this whole thing is going to decline more. This is, it may get up in here and do one of these deals, but it doesn't look very strong. Now, corn's a different matter, I think. Let me see corn. Yeah. Corn looked bullish to me. I said to my members on the Discord server that I liked corn, and there it is. Sure enough, it was a green day at a range of 4.875. Opened up at 32 and closed at 33 and a quarter. So one and an eighth. Not bad. I'd take that. On small to medium position. Nothing wrong with that. Good money. Why do I like it? Look at this. Positive momentum. Doesn't touch the bottom. Doesn't touch the bottom. Barely touches the bottom. Right? All signs that corn's moving that way. Right? Corn's moving that way. And at the moment, right now, today, as it stands today, I still like corn. Still looks healthy to me. Okay, last product XLP is going to be the ETF, the Spider Fund Consumer Staples ETF. Positive momentum, guys, just happened. Just happened. Positive momentum, it just happened. I guess that was on Friday. And yeah, so here's what I think. This really repaired itself, which, you know, is kind of what I was waiting on. Big gaps overnight, which I like to know why this gapped up. Why does this gap up overnight? Is there futures that are making this gap up? Someone can tell me the reason why. Why does this gap up overnight? Is there some pre-market stuff going on and then it doesn't show up until, I don't know how this gets gapped. I wasn't aware there was a Staples futures. Something's making this have gaps. Same thing here. Weird here. Here's how I would do this. If it comes down like this and starts turning up again, that's when you go long right there. Okay. If it comes all the way down, touches like that, okay, you gotta be a little bit careful. As long as it's still positive momentum here and then goes back up, yeah, you can go long. But it's better if it doesn't come all the way to the bottom. Okay, or if it does this, just touches right up here at the top and then turns and goes up, that would be even better. That's super bullish. Okay. Kind of like if you look at this area. See how super bullish this is? Super bullish. Right from here all the way up to the top there. Bam. Whole thing was not even coming down and touching, barely touching the top line. Boy, that is just super aggressive. It did it here, over here, did it here, did it here. All signs that it's, you know, has a positive tendency to it. That's it. Become a member, $7.99. Talk to you all real soon again next time.